Happy Tuesday.
Happy
We're
Tuesday.
back. We're back. Guess what? They coming back. They love us.
One more again.
We love y'all too. Thanks again for the support. Like, share, subscribe, all of those good things. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram and all those good things. So with that being said, it's another Tuesday where we are here to surely motivate you, navigate you through to the end of your work week. So what's going on, Tina, with the tip? What's a word for the day?
Setting boundaries. To some, that may seem like a curse word, but it is very, very necessary.
Not a curse word.
Yes. Learn to say no when necessary. Establishing boundaries protects your time and energy.
Oh,
So heavy on this podcast, we're always talking about energy. We're always talking about things to stay energized, to stay positive and things like that. So definitely setting boundaries is one of those tools that you must implement to preserve your energy.
when is it important to set boundaries? Like, you mean like in a work relationship,
I
in a
think
personal
in all
relationship?
relationships, I think setting boundaries are very necessary. I think in all relationships, I think if it's a work relationship, you need to not do overtime. You need to not do weekends. You not need to do things that are outside
Yeah.
of your work job description.
Because
if
I
you
get to work
start
at
do that-
7:59, and I'm supposed to be there at 8. So, ooh,
then I get there at 8:10.
but I've been, the spirit of lateness been on me lately.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
The spirit of lateness has been on me. I'm gonna do better.
So that's one type of relationship, setting boundaries in the workplace, setting boundaries in your romantic relationships.
Oh, boundaries in the romance?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta say no. I mean,
No, what are we saying no to?
at this big age, people come with ex-spouses, children from previous relationships, financial hardships. They could be in between jobs and things like that. So when you're setting boundaries, you don't want to overextend yourself till you're putting yourself in a deficit to try to prove your love and your loyalty to someone else that you're in a relationship with.
Yeah, I definitely think overcompensating is a deal. But yeah, I do agree with the setting boundaries. I think in the beginning your boundaries are different as opposed to 2 months in, 4 months in, 6 months in, if the goal is progression. If we are talking about boundaries in intentional dating, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, boundaries are important. So what do you think in the beginning, your boundaries in terms of, in the beginning, you've been talking to this person for a couple weeks, y'all go out on a date. Oh, you gonna sip to that? Okay. She needed some hydration.
Yeah.
Why when I get to going out on the date, you need to be hydrated all of a sudden?
I mean, Delina and I talk a lot off of camera in regards to
Yes,
dating and relationships. And relationships is not a sore spot for me, but I've had so many unsuccessful
Not
relationships.
unsuccessful. And let me just say this. We appreciate the love and support and feedback, and we ask close friends and family and our viewers to give us some topics, and the powers that have been invested in us have zeroed in on some topics about relationships. So we decided to touch on it. But back to what you were saying. So you said you're not sore about the relationship, but you've had some sore experiences.
Yeah, so I guess that's the best way to say it. So
Okay.
essentially, I don't want my shortcomings in the arena of relationships to taint others' perception of dating.
Well, we're not going to taint here, but we are going to be sheer.
Yeah, sheer motivation.
And motivate.
Yeah.
We're going to sheerly motivate people into a realistic perspective. So your experiences is, like you said, it's not to taint anyone's progression, but on this podcast we're going to challenge ourselves to be open and transparent, and this is your experience. So it's not male bashing, it's experience sharing. Experience sharing is caring.
I care.
You care? Oh,
Yeah. So, nonetheless, when you're getting into a new relationship, do not overextend yourself. Do make sure that this is a person that you can see yourself building with, growing with, and make sure that there's a reciprocation of energy. You know, because sometimes as women, you know, we do feel like there is a shortage of good men. So we can put ourselves in a position where we're overextending ourselves because we want him to know that we care, that we like him. We're the ride or die type of female.
Right, ride or die. I done rode. I done died. Came
couple
back to
times.
life.
Listen. And
Died
he killed me
again.
again. Yeah. So so definitely when it comes to relationships, make sure it's kind of evenly tilled. The Bible, which I don't know which verse we're going to be getting into
we'll
this
get
week,
to it.
but the Bible talks about being equally yoked, and we do understand that individuals go through things, and you know, you might meet somebody and they could have the best heart, the best internal workings, and they could just literally be going through a stupor in their lives. So it's not throw the whole person away, but you have to have those difficult conversations about goals. What are your goals? What do you plan on doing to put yourself in a better predicament? How can I help you? How are you going to help yourself? If our relationship doesn't work out, then you have not overextended yourself to a point where now you're in a deficit. You know, because every relationship
my
you
problem.
give and take.
Yeah, you give and take. See, I'll risk it all.
Yeah. That was me.
I think I'm a little bit of a hopeless romantic, but I've learned.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Yeah, I've learned some expensive lessons. Yes. Very
Cha-ching.
expensive. Very expensive. I lost some cars, some apartments, some bankroll. Yeah. So, and
you loaded, sis.
not
I wanna
even
be like you
no,
when I'm
not even, but allowing someone else's emergency to now be my emergency. I have children, so we have our own set of emergencies. You know,
Amen.
as a mother, you know, an unforeseen doctor's bill, a kid gets injured or something like that. I have to have money on reserve for that. So I can't, you know, be giving you re-up money.
So in terms of that's true. In terms of setting boundaries, like how does someone determine in the beginning? Okay, so for example, you go on the first date. Everybody should be dating intentionally with the intention to bring your attributes, your skill set, your vision to the table. And we touched a little bit on the table in a previous episode, and I think the feedback, I think people were really nudging this relationship kind of dialect. But you know, the table is just a set of attributes and goals that you have finessed in your own life, and you are at a place where you want to share and combine like terms with someone.
That's a good way to put it, like terms.
Like terms. So it's not really on all of one particular person to bring everything to the table. You know, as a man, you may come with a vision. You may come where you're financially secure, but maybe you've chosen this woman because her faith is strong, or you've chosen this woman because she's very organized, or she pays attention to detail, she's very nurturing, whatever it is. So we touched a little bit on the table last time, but this time we're going to touch a little bit on boundaries. So when you go on a first date, let's talk first date. The first date.
One time
for your mind. I know they're gonna eat us with these comments.
Listen. We're gonna put a disclaimer out there. Take everything that we said with a grain of salt. If it don't apply to you, then let it ride. Okay, let it ride.
They're not gonna let it ride.
Yeah.
So
don't inbox us,
right? Because I'm gonna read it,
and you might get blocked.
Boom. Oh, you are the queen of blocking.
Listen, I gotta protect my energy.
We gotta see if we can get some sound effects to this.
Listen.
So,
yeah.
So what was I saying? In terms of the first day, and we're not relationship experts. I'm just sharing what has worked for me, what hasn't worked. Tina got her own set of experiences. Some stuff we see parallel. Other things we have a different, viewpoint. But in terms of the first date. Let's go to in the beginning. because I've had this conversation with a couple of male friends of mine. Oh, she's doing that mindfulness exercise we talked about the first time, the deep breathing. Okay.
I'm going to a happy place in my mind.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. So in the beginning, you were minding your business. And I've had this conversation with some male friends of mine. We're at the bar. We're at a happy hour. Wherever we are, we minding our business. We got our drink in our hand. Drink in our hand. We listening to some good music.
Listen.
This man has noticed us from across the room. There you go. And we have noticed him. We may lock eyes. At some point, he comes over to introduce himself, right? So I've had this conversation. Who approaches who? Do you feel like as a woman, you're out enjoying yourself and this man has made eyes with you and you've maybe made eyes with him? How you doing? Do you feel like it's your place to go over, introduce yourself? Because it's some raw women out here, from my understanding, and they're doing that. Ladies, are we doing that? Are we seeing an attractive man? Are we going over and staking our fork in the grass? Or what are we doing? Okay.
So I go over, I introduce myself. I give him my name, which I don't give him my full name.
Oh, you using aliases out here in the streets?
No, I just say Tina because we're not gonna get into articulation.
But you just said you articulate. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking proper. I'm not talking that street slang. I'm actually forming full sentences and words. I'm not leaving open-ended questions and stuff.
I'm following you.
Yeah, so when I go over, I say Tina because Shantina is a a very what's the word? Rare? Very rare name. Oh. And so, they can type shit in there.
I was going to say urban.
Well, that too. But,
I love you, girl.
Listen, it's urban. I'll accept that.
Urban.
But nonetheless, when I go over, I'll just say Tina and what's your name or whatever.
Okay.
And, we'll start conversing. And, I'll just say, I saw you over there looking, single, married, or divorced.
Oh, okay. So you just get right into it.
Right on to it. Because what is we doing? What are we doing? Because I'm trying to get married tomorrow. So if I'm trying to get married tomorrow, I need to know, are you single, married, or divorced?
Well.
Yeah. So, my main thing is with asking single, married, or divorced, I'm not trying to get hit over my head with nobody bottle flying across the club to hit me. So you might even be somebody's man because there are couples that go out together.
Okay.
And, because they already are secure in their relationship, he could be standing at the bar watching the game with his boys and she could be up in the VIP plush rolled arm sofa chilling with her homegirls.
Okay.
So I need to determine if this is even a safe space for me to even be over here in a conversation with you.
It's giving too much work for
me. Yeah. It's work. It's work. But
I'm
you
tired.
work
I'm
now.
Tired, and I ain't even
work now. Work while it's day.
Do the work up front.
Yeah,
Got you. Go ahead, sis.
So I'll say, single, married, or divorced. So, depending on what he says then, which every man if his woman ain't watching is single. Yeah, every man if his woman ain't watching, he's single. So he in the club, he say he's single. Okay, so now we go to level 2. Now if he say married, I said, well, I just want to tell you you're a very nice looking guy. I like the way you put together. I like the way God put the Lego blocks.
That's too much talking if you talking to my man. If my man has made it could be,
I could be saying excuse me, sir.
What you need to say is,
excuse me, sir.
What you need to say at that point, once he say, I'm married, you say, have a good night.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still want to give him a compliment. I want to even know why I stepped on his square. You know what I'm saying? Why I'm even over there in his face. I just want to let you know that, I see what God did and we bless him for that. If he says divorce, then I say, okay, because divorce, that's you back outside.
There's an opening.
Yeah. He back outside and I'm outside and this is the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I go. That's how I see him. I like him and I want him.
Okay.
But let's establish single, married, or divorced first. Let's go ahead and get them difficult questions out, because if we do not, then that's when you continue to talk and you start building up these emotions. The longer that it drags on and you don't know and you haven't asked those difficult questions, is the longer that you start fantasizing that, hey, this is going somewhere that it could possibly never go.
Okay. So, I received that. I'm a little different. So
how you different, friend?
Yeah, I'm a little different, and I mean, so I was having this conversation with a friend of mine. we've known each other for a long time, but we went to high school together, but we still keep in touch. And we've had this conversation, he and I. He's probably watching, he know who he is. But he said, you know, Delina, if you see a nice looking man, he's staring at you, you staring at him, you're not gonna go over there and say it. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely.
She said what she said.
I said what I said.
She ain't coming.
So my thing is this, and I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong. I respect your opinion. You know, for me, I guess, for me, I feel like men are natural born leaders, providers, and protectors. What does that mean to me? When they're hunters, they're not. It's in their DNA. Okay, so what does that mean for me in the social sense? Is if you see me and I see you, we lock eyes. If you're available, you know, meaning if you're single and you're out in that social atmosphere, you gonna come over, you gonna introduce yourself. I'm gonna make my aura open. I'm definitely gonna smile. I'm gonna make eye contact with you. Come over, introduce yourself. I'm definitely gonna engage in conversation. But I'm not getting off my square to go over to you and introduce myself like, hey, how you doing?
What
you know
up?
What I'm saying, what's up?
What up?
It's your girl. Like I'm not about to rub my beard, you know, and you know, pop my collar. I feel like when a man sees something they want, they coming for you. Period. They're coming for you. They're natural born leaders, providers, and protectors. So you see something you want. You're locking eyes with me. I'm locking eyes with you. We're doing it multiple times. That's your chance to come over, introduce yourself, say something. At that time, I will have a conversation like, oh, you know, are you single? Are you, you know, whatever, you know, and I will ask those important questions. I'm going to touch on them. I'm not going to go too far because we just met. It's boundaries in place. I'm not going to be like, so when's the last time you had sex? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's going to be a lie. You asking for a lie on the first night?
I'm asking for it.
Asking for a lie.
I might lie to me. I might I might ask a question and run into a red flag, and I just keep on running.
She run to them red flags now. So now what I will say, you are absolutely correct. That is the dynamic. I do feel like that's the dynamic. That's the traditional way of doing things. A man
I'm a traditional
seeks
girl.
out a woman and then he goes for what he wants. But in my defense, these men don't know what they want.
And I'm not gonna decide for them.
I mean, I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna help them.
And that's great, friend.
Shorty,
but I'm
this what you want.
This phase of my life is called I'm not putting together puzzle pieces for no grown man, right? I got enough pieces of my life that I'm trying to gel together. I have children I have to lead. I have this oldest child who I love very dearly. I'm a consultant in her life. She is college. She's in college. She's, you know, on the cusp of a new chapter in her life. I'm there to guide her and motivate her and encourage. So
Sheer
that's
Motivation Podcast.
sheer motivation. I'm sheerly motivating my oldest child into young womanhood and adulthood. Then I have 2 boys. I got to get down on their level. I got to be mom to them. I have to motivate them according to their age group. I don't have the energy to do it for a grown man. If you want me and you're taking note of who I am and you decide, you know what, it's something about her, I need to spend a little time with her. I need to see what she got going on. I need to see where her mind at. I need to see who she is. It is up to you to take the lead on that navigation.
Sips tea.
We're going to get a lot of stuff in the DMs. I feel the DMs coming. I
You
feel
feel
it
it?
shut up in my bones.
Listen, can we turn comments off? Can we turn comments off right
we
now?
might need to
Listen.
turn the comments off on this.
So we can agree to disagree. We're 2 individuals, so we do things on an individual basis.
Yeah.
I have no problem shooting my shot. Delina says that is not her position. If you a man, I'm gonna need you to be a man.
I'm gonna need you to come with it, baby. Come go hard or go home.
Listen, and I'm shooting shot. Bow, there we go. Hitting the 3. Bow, there we go.
So what do y'all think? What are we doing out there, ladies? Are we seeing men? Are we coming up on them like what's good? You know? Or are we queens on our square and you know, we don't move our feet from our square until we find something that's worth it, until that man show you I'm in your life because I need to be there. You know,
It definitely, I feel like Delina's approach does force a man to see the value in you. But I do feel like when you're in a club setting, you know, you set the scene, we're in a club.
now I'm friendly in the club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm nice.
Sometimes I'm too friendly.
Yeah, exactly. But but what I'm saying is, it's only a snapshot. So if I don't go over and actually open my mouth, you know, you just over there admiring me. You don't even get to, you know, peel back a layer.
Yeah, you
and
don't need to
I
peel
feel
back
like,
a layer until you.
yeah, but I feel
up
like
over
as,
layer.
you know, where, you know, some people, they get fascinated by the appearance of things, but it's so many levels. Like, it's a conversation. It's something that I could say that could, you know, change your mind one way or the other. Because I could go over there and open up my mouth and be a babbling fool, and you might be like, like, she should just kept her mouth shut. Which, you know, maybe that's happened to a couple of scenarios, but I could come over and you'd be like, yeah, you know, that's the voice that I heard. That's the person that I think it was. Because I really feel like, me being a single woman, I know what my husband looks like. I know when I encounter him, I'm going to know that I've encountered him, that I've encountered the person that God has reserved for me. Because I've never been married. And I know that as much as I'm seeking my partner, he's seeking me too.
Right. Absolutely. So Tina brought up a good point. She's never been married. So those who know, if you don't know, I was in a marriage for we'll cap it at 10 years. Long time. Good man. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. But the Bible says that
He's a good man, Savannah.
no, the Bible says
What did it say, sis?
that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So I realized that I need to allow that man to find me. I'm going to make my aura open. I'm going to welcome the conversation. I'm not going to be like, oh, how dare you? Off with your head, you know. But I'm not going to go and seek, because I realize that as a woman, as I'm walking more and more in my purpose, and I'm really more focused on being a good mother to my children and being a good friend to my friends and just living and enjoying life, when that man that God is sending for me, my Boaz, I'm gonna know it. I'm gonna feel it. You know, I'm not going to have to go find it. I'm not going to have to go chase it. I'm not going to have to convince it. I'm not going to have to compete with no other woman.
Listen.
Because he's going to show up and he's going to be present. You know, because that's what the Bible has told me. And I realized that in my marriage that I was in, although he was a great man and we gelled well in a lot of areas, I feel like I never took time to really stop and say, God, is this the man you're sending for me? Let me try it your way, because when I take the lead, it doesn't work well for me.
Correct.
You know, and so I think it's nothing wrong with being open and social. I think it's nothing wrong with making your aura inviting. But I definitely feel like, because men are natural born hunters, leaders, providers, protectors, men know what they want, period. And so that is your time to take the first leg. Introduce yourself. I think the problem is we've gotten away from the normalcy of going up to a lady and giving her a compliment and saying, I seen you over here. I want to come over and introduce myself because, you know, you look attractive. I'm trying to get to know a little bit about you, you know, and just having that normal conversation. So I'll sit back. I'll cross my legs on my throne. I might be alone. I might be alone, honey. I accepted that too.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. If you're in a position of transition from one relationship to your next relationship, there is a period of time where you have to do some self-healing and some self-work, and it could get lonely and you could be by yourself, and that's fine. That's the time that you need to learn to figure out what things work for you, the things that you're willing to accept. Like, hey, I need a provider. Every woman doesn't need a provider. Some women might feel like, hey, I already got a big bag, I just need my man to come around and protect me.
I need a provider.
I need my man to give me compliments. I need my man to buy me flowers. I need my man to lead. I need him to set goals. I need him to tell me the next direction that our family is moving in. So when people talk about money is like the least of the problems that a lot of relationships have.
When we talked about the table in the previous episode, I think men hear the table. Oh Lord, here they go with the table, and women like, yeah, the table. The table is not just money. The table is, I believe it. Money. Now, money is on the table.
Money is on the table. Yeah, throw it out.
Money is on the table, but I want money, but I want a vision. I want to know what you're connected to. I want to know your vision for us. I want to know your vision for you separately. I mean, are we starting a business? Are you planning to help me retire before I get to 50? What is our plan? Are we, are we really working on becoming one?
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't have everything in place, but my thought is, as a woman, what can I add to this man? I don't want to take from you. I want to add to you.
Right.
Because if I see potential in us being together, because we women, we love potential.
Ooh, potential.
But I want to add to you. I may be good at fine detail. I may be good at organization. I may be good at numbers. I may be good at the gift of gab. Whatever it is, whatever your vision is, I'm going to listen to it and see what I can add to it. And I think people have just gotten away from that, and that's why it's important to be intentional when you date and have those boundaries. So on the first date, are there topics and boundaries that you put up in an effort to protect yourself from discussing certain things? Like, is there topics off limit on the first date?
I don't have topics that are off limits. I try to allow the conversation to be organic. Just depending on where the first date is, the type of setting that we're in. If we're riding together to, said place, that car ride is a lot of time to talk and discuss some things and, your hobbies, your interests and different things like that. So I would definitely say, I wouldn't talk about sex on the first date unless I was that type of girl, and I'm not that type of girl.
She's not that type of girl.
I'm not that type of girl. So I wouldn't talk about sex, because then that opens up a whole nother can of worms, because then his antennas goes up and he's like, okay, it's about to be my lucky night.
Oh, yes. Not the lucky night.
Yeah, lucky night, like bingo, just hit the jackpot. No, sir. So therefore I wouldn't engage in that type of conversation. Now, financially, I would say, where do you work? How long have you been working there? Because then that would tell me that, if you've been on a certain job for a length of time, you could have a 401k, you could be starting to invest in, your future, whatever. You have a solid foundation.
Okay, I like those keywords. 401. Invest. Ladies, write that down.
Yeah. And solid foundation. Do you have children? How many children? With how many different women? Ooh. Because now when we're talking about multiple children, we're talking about multiple children's moms, then we're talking about different personalities. Does your child live in the state, out of the state? Like, it's many different parts, because then if your kids live out of the states, then that means when they come to like summer breaks and stuff like that, we have to make accommodations for them. So it's just certain things.
Oh my gosh,
I have children, so my kids play a big portion in my life. If I'm with somebody and building with someone, I would want to think that their children are a big part of their life, and I want it to be cohesiveness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to, is cohesiveness. Like, okay, now we're together. Now, how can I support you and you support me? I don't want somebody being over here catering to my kids and doing everything to my kids, and they haven't even called their kid for their kid's birthday or Christmas. You're in my kids' space, but you don't even have a good relationship with your kids. And
Right.
some men think that they have to show that to get with the woman. I have to show that I can tolerate kids. I can show that I have a good relationship with her kids, because then that gets me closer to her, because I know how she feels about her kids.
Yeah.
And that's a facade. I feel like that's a facade, because that's not your true heart. That's not your true intention. But you know how important my kids are to me, so you lead with that, so that you
come
can get
over
in
and
my
play the
yeah.
good guy.
Yeah. So I feel like those are, on the date, of course, have fun, enjoy it for what it's worth. Dates do not have to be expensive. Dates can
So
be.
let's talk money. First date.
Money.
Catch this dance. So they gonna get us.
Listen, we do not own rights to that song.
They gonna get us. So let's talk money on the first date. So I don't believe there's a specific dollar amount that is attached to a first date. But when we get into the idea of first date, I feel like once we get, and I could be distorted with this, because I'm in a phase, right? I'm in a phase in my life where I've ended one chapter of my life. So I'm going into this phase of my life where I haven't been on a whole bunch of dates, and I don't know what the rules are, but I do know, one thing I know about myself is I do tend to be more of a traditional lady. So with that being said,
That is determined.
right. Ooh, that was messy.
That is determined. She traditional. I'm not. I'm shooting the shot.
So, I like flowers. I feel like the first date is the time where you take a collection of our conversations, not text messages, conversations, and you say, man, I've been talking to her for about 3-4 weeks, whatever, and she likes painting, she likes riding bikes, she likes museums, she likes art. What can I plan around these conversations that we've had where I can get her into an element where we're enjoying each other's time, each other's company? Let me check out this museum. After that, we can go have us a nice little dinner. I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna have a few little flowers. She said her favorite color is X and Y, so I'm gonna just pick out something, pick her up, we're gonna go, we're gonna have a good time. So with that being said, money has to be spent. It's not about the dollar amount, it's about the thought that goes into, the intention that goes into planning a date around the conversations that we've had. It shows that you've been listening. It shows that you care enough and think enough of me to take the time to plan something around things that interest me, where you can see me and I can see you in a natural element, and we can have a good time, to see if there is a spark there that we can build on. You can spend $100, you can spend $200, you can spend $300. It's not a minimum or a maximum. But fellas, you gotta know how to woo your lady. Because what you put in her is what you get out of her.
Listen.
And I didn't write that.
That's a scripture. I'm gonna write that down. Hold on.
Well.
What you put in her
is what you get out.
is what you get out.
She is really writing this down.
What you get out.
Yeah,
I think that's true in
you
everything.
heard the lingo. You put sperm in, you get a baby. You
Yeah.
put her in a house, you make it a home.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so, and I believe that's true. I do believe, I 100% stand on that. And that's why I start cutting my roster.
The roster?
The roster. So we talked about the table, and we're going to talk about the roster. So, no,
Oh.
but literally, I don't allow people to waste very much of my time. So you're only going to have about a week's worth of Good Morning Beautifuls. And if you have not...
Oh, and don't you even hit me with the what you doing.
And let me go ahead and tell you this, because she's not going to tell you. If you text her GM, ooh, child.
It's blocked. And I didn't
blocked.
pass the phase of blocking it. Don't you text me the letter G and then the letter M. We got to get graphics.
Yeah, when she said that a few weeks ago, she said, "Ooh," and he texted me, GM. I said, well, she a feisty one. I know that's
lazy.
right.
You can't even put the OOD and all the other letters.
Listen, I'm not even worth your time and effort to spell out 2 full words.
That's what I'm saying.
3 good syllables. Like, what is we doing?
They're not spelling it out because they don't got to put no effort in.
Right.
All they had to do was look at you and you come walking over, so they figured the letters GM is good enough.
Listen, and so what I'm saying is, even in the morning, if people have a ride to work, a few minutes, 5 or 10 minutes that they can spare, that they could call you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to text me. You can call me and say, "Good morning. I hope you have a great day."
Right.
I just call to let you know I want you to have a great day, and we'll talk once you get off. I mean, it's just one of the things. That's effort. That's energy. That's showing interest. And you can't build a whole relationship off of a 2-letter text message. That's not even showing me personality. That's not showing me character. That's not showing me anything about you. So, with that being said, I just kind of. Now, most recently, because remember you said, give it time.
I said that?
Yeah, you did. Because I be cutting them off.
I do think.
And telling her about it when it's done.
I be like,
give him time.
And I watch him fade.
She be like, so what happened to old boy? I'm like, he gone.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. R.I.P. I just killed the thug.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for that man. But nonetheless, so back on my birthday, July 30th, just in case, go ahead and put that on your calendar for next year. July 30th, I met a guy.
July 30th, what's your sign?
Leo.
A Leo.
Say it real loud.
I can say it low because Sagittarius is so loud in my ear. I'm a Sag. She asked my sign. I said a Sag.
Yeah. So Leo. I'm a Leo woman, and so I was out. That was fight night with
fight night.
Yeah, fight night. The 2 guys. Who were the 2 guys that were fighting? I can't remember now, but nonetheless,
she can't even remember. You must have met a good old man.
No, it ain't even had nothing to do with that.
It's just blocked her memory.
It's been over 2 months, over a month and a half now. So I'm out at the local casino.
Ooh, I've never been to the casino. I want to go.
You need to go.
Okay,
it's a whole vibe.
Oh,
it's grown and sexy.
I like grown and sexy.
So I'm at the local casino.
Okay.
I'm with some homegirls.
Are you at the crack table? Or you rolling dice?
No,
rolling
I
dice
actually
like 7-11. I
was at the we was at the where the fight was going at. All the big screens was lined up or whatever.
Okay.
So we over there, it's all girl crew. One guy ended up knowing one of the girls that was in my crew or whatever, and he comes over and he says, "Hey, I'm out celebrating my brother's birthday."
Okay.
And so she says, "Oh, we celebrating her birthday."
Give me his visual stats for the people that's listening, because this is visual, but some people are just gonna listen to this. What did he look like? He walks up. Give me a synopsis of his.
So when the brother walks up, he's not even there. Like he's off at the restroom or off at a table or something. So the guy comes over. His brother's nice looking, and he tells my friend, "Yeah, we are celebrating my brother's birthday." So she says, "Well, we celebrating her birthday, which would be me." So he was like, "Oh, when your birthday?" And I said, "Today," because it was after midnight, and so we were actually on July 30th. And his brother's birthday was actually July 29th, which was when they initiated entering the casino. So his brother's birthday is July 29th. Mine is July 30th. So he says, "Well, it's we're gonna buy shots. We're gonna buy rounds, drinks on us, whatever." So then when the brother walks up, he tells his brother. Now we get into the visual. Now the brother shows up, and the brother is short.
Well, how short is short? Give me an idea.
My short.
Because I like a tall man. Something I can climb.
So me, myself, I'm 5 foot even. So he may have been 5'2". Yeah, so and granted,
if it's 5, you shouldn't be alive.
No, please let us 5 feet people live.
Well, no, you can live, friend. The woman can live.
Okay, thank you.
Man.
Yeah, so he came over, whatever. He was nice, he extended his hand for a handshake, gave him a handshake or whatever.
He's like with the handshake.
Handshake. I mean, I just met this man.
Okay.
I mean, we only known each other 35
ain't
seconds.
Nothing wrong with the handshake.
Yeah, ain't no chest today. You ain't touching this. This somebody else's wife. Don't be touching on this.
Okay. Okay.
So when we're we go to a bar, the brother's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many shots we're gonna get or whatever. So he ordered the shots came, we toasted up, cheered, whatever. So, we're just talking. So he said, I didn't even the brother that is supposed to be for me, I'm assuming.
She'd have made the man for her.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Because I ain't gonna say names because I don't know who or who was there that night.
Right, we ain't doing no names.
Yeah, so
it's your motivation pocket, not names.
Yeah, we're not naming. So
we do
names.
story time with no names.
No face, no case. So anyway, so he says, I didn't get your name. So I tell him my name or whatever. So we just talking. So he said, what do you do? You're so pretty. You smell amazing. You look great or whatever. Because like I say, it's my birthday. So
it's your birthday.
If it's my birthday, I'm putting it on. You understand what I'm saying? So, he tells me his name. I tell him mine or whatever. He tells me where he works at. I tell him where I work at. And he was like, it's funny that I never met you before. If my brother knows your friend, then why have I never met you before? And then I'm like, well, me and her don't get to hang out that often. It just so happened to be fight night in her city, so I'm on her side of town.
Okay.
And so anyway, so he was like, telling me different things. He, what his interests are. He fixes cars, restores cars, and different things like that. So he said, well, after we hung out, we went to the crap table. Like, we talking 2.5, 3 hours of just, moving around the casino, just doing stuff, hanging out.
So he was with you at this point?
Yeah, so it was
him. Don't even be with me like that. Just come up, introduce yourself. Let's have a 10, 15-minute conversation. Yeah. I need you to go forward.
So, no, like, pretty much our crews merged. So him and his brother with me and my homegirls. And like I said, they were very hospitable. It wasn't just like, oh, let me buy you a drink. It was let me get everybody straight. So, and then the guy and girl that had known each other, they're gamblers. So we went to different tables where they gambled and they won money. Okay. So that wasn't a problem. So while they gambling, we just off on the side having small talk. And so when it was all over with, he said, well, can I get your number? I would love to continue our conversation. So I said, okay. So I gave him my number. So after giving him my number, the next day he texted me, it was great meeting you, whatever. Okay, cool.
Okay, so this is the next day. Okay,
this is the next day.
The next day.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the next day. So on the next day, he's like, it was good meeting you or whatever. You seem like good people, whatever. I love to get to know more about you. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we're talking and we're texting. Good morning. Have a great day. Good morning.
Too much texting for me.
Yeah, too much texting for me. So then I break the barrier. Like, well, let me call him. Let me let him know that I'm single.
She's shooting her shot.
That's what I'm saying. Single. Yeah, I'm single. So, sir, you can call this phone because I paid a bill on it. There's nobody laying beside me. You're hustling. There is no inappropriate time to call me because I sleep by myself. So I call him. We engage in conversation. We're talking or whatever. So, after that, it went back to texting. So with me, I was kind of like, I'm only gonna give this like 7 good days. Like, what is we doing? Like
7? She said, I'm gonna give you just as much time as God used to create the world.
Listen, 7 days.
It's a masterpiece.
You have not said nothing about meeting. You have not said nothing about going out.
Well, it's been 7 days.
We had to the next weekend. Grown people like to hang out on the weekends. So I met you on the weekend. I understand you might have worked Monday through Friday. Now we had another weekend, and you ain't said nothing about, well, hey, it's Friday night.
He could have had something previously planned.
Clearly he did. So nonetheless, this text relationship, for those who follow me on Facebook, this text relationship went on for 30 whole days. 30 whole days.
You was in a relationship through text message for 30 days.
For 30 whole days. Yeah. So now you see how when I said what I said when I told Delina, oh, he about to get blocked. And she, oh, no, don't block
Well,
me.
I mean, so how long do you...
How long is too long?
Do you feel that it should take somebody to plan that first date? I feel like at the 60-day mark, if we've been talking, texting, first of all, I don't just want to be in a text relationship with you. That's flag for me, number one.
Right.
If we're doing 90% of our talking through text message, that's something I personally don't want to be a part of. I need to hear your voice. FaceTime is it's levels to it. I don't particularly care to FaceTime with guys unless I've deemed you special to me,
right,
in some capacity. But I'm not just randomly FaceTiming, like. But we need to talk. We need to be able to hear each other's tone and inflection in our voice. And what I'm saying is, it does take time to build a rapport. So I feel like if we've met from the start to the, if we've been talking and texting regularly, nothing wrong with texting, but I just don't want it to be the main vessel of communication. If we get to the 60-day mark and you have not invited me out on a date or a dinner or a movie or a concert or a play, or it's like,
cocktail,
what are we doing?
Ice cream, tea, Starbucks, Barnes and Noble.
What's going on?
What are we doing? Yeah, so I allowed that to go on much longer than it needed to go.
Well, how long was it in total time?
I mean, it was 30 days. But it was,
I think that's a bit much, friend. 30 days is a bit much, because people have lives.
Come, story time. So my job sent me out of town for a training. And with that training, I stayed in a whole entire motel room by myself.
You was like 2 hours away. And people can't
2
always get there.
2 hours.
No, but people can't always get there. People got lives. And
Listen, I know a joker right now. If I really wanted to be bothered, I'd call him and he'd walk. So you telling me a man with 3 cars, you told me you got 3 cars, 3 cell phones, you telling me a man that able-bodied, got a job, and I'm 2 hours away, and it ain't even that far, but I live in Williamsburg. My training was in Richmond. I was there for 3 whole days, and for none of those days did you take an early day. Did you come up and say, well, she's in Richmond, because when I was going to Richmond, he said, so, they got y'all roommates, and I said, no. I said, well, we're in the room by ourselves. They don't force the roommate situation. I said, I'm quite sure if it was somebody that I was cool with, such as Delina, then probably I could say, hey, me and Delina, we chill. Like, we be at the tally all the time by ourselves. Yeah. So they would have made that accommodation for us to stay in a room together. But I was in the room by myself. So, he was like, oh, word, that's what's up. So what you gonna be up there doing? And I was like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that was your, leeway to, if you said, well, hey, I'm gonna come up there, because now you don't gotta buy a room. The room is already paid for. My employer has fit the bill.
She done made it easy for him.
Yeah, I done made it real easy.
And he still didn't get it.
So now while I'm at the room, the whole time you texting and talking, hope you have a good day at training. Hope you have a great day. You out of training. How was training today? We doing all this small talk. For me to return, I return and get back, and I said, you know what? That's really, really peculiar to me. And when I call him, he don't answer. Peculiar, because now I'm thinking, I call him, he don't answer. I text him, he responds and says he in the hospital. So I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a minute, how the man get to the hospital?
So I'm like, oh my God, he's in the hospital. Let us pray.
Oh.
So I begin to pray, because I'm like, Lord, maybe that's why he didn't ever come up. So, I'm a healthcare professional. I've been in the healthcare industry over 20 years. So when he was telling me about his ailment or whatever, it was true. It was, what he was saying was actually true. He had arrhythmia, and they, shocked his heart to get his heart back in the rhythm. His top lobe was beating at a different speed than his bottom lobe, just to keep it, straight and narrow. We're not going to get into the medical terminology. But anyway, so I said, oh my God. I said, well, so are you going home? I said, because it's like an outpatient procedure, but it's still, they put you to sleep, and it can be, it can be hard. It can be a difficult procedure. So I said, and then they let you stay like an hour and a half, 2 hours after you had a procedure or whatever, to make sure the anesthesia wears off and you tolerating everything well. So when we're talking on the phone, because he calls me, he's just driving. So we've been on the phone like an hour. This is the longest that I've ever talked to him. He's just on the phone. So I said, well, you should be going home. You should be going home, sir, because we're talking about top lobe, bottom lobe, and they're not in sync, and then it in sync, then everything's doing this. You should be home, sir, with your feet propped up, relaxing.
Not your feet up.
Yeah, and so now we've been on the phone.
He got the gout, don't he?
We've been on the phone an hour and a half. This man never made it home.
Oh, because he was sitting in his car talking to you. Because he can't go in there on the phone.
You see the red flags? You see the red flags.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. So he gets a tally mark. So anyway, so that's what I'm saying. It just never added up. It did not add up. So when I say I cut people off at a certain time, it has to make sense to me. As me being a woman who lives by myself, I don't answer to another person. I can't see why 2 individuals can't pick a time, coordinate a time, meet up, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, walk in the park, a sit on the park bench, whatever the case may be, to have a face-to-face conversation or an in-depth phone conversation. So once that didn't happen, I just was like, chunk the deuces. Yeah, chunk the deuces.
That's a scissor move.
Yeah, so when I text him, and this is Labor Day weekend, that was Labor Day weekend, so I texted him and said, I hope you got home. And
you gave him a good final good text message.
The Joker had 9 lives. I gave him 3 more. I gave him 3 more lives. I let him, So when I texted him and I said, I hope you enjoy your holiday weekend, he didn't respond. And then the next day I texted him, I said, good morning, because this is what we've been doing. You've been texting me good morning, imposing on my mornings. Let me impose on yours, because I never initiated the good morning text message. It was always him. So I texted him, I said, good morning. He don't respond. Now this Saturday, Sunday. Now we get to Monday, big Labor Day. So I text him and I said, I hope you're enjoying your Labor Day holiday. He don't say nothing. Nice. When he texts me again, this is why I don't let nobody's short son play in my face. You're 5'2". You already got a handicap. You already got a handicap, sir. You're 5'2". I'm giving you grace. God gave you grace. I'm giving you more grace. So therefore, you're 5'2". Stop playing in my face. But nonetheless, when I text him, I text him Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. When he texted me back, it was Tuesday, and guess what he said?
I wouldn't have known, because he would have been blocked already in my phone.
He said good morning, and that's when he was blocked. Cause you ain't dead now. If you had some adverse reaction to your little shock, then you should have led with that. I'm sorry. I see you had texted me for the last couple of days, and I've been down bad. That's when you say that. But you text me with good morning, like this, like everything's normal, like you ain't seen the last 3 text messages. So now I'm gonna block you because you want to play, and I don't feel like playing. Games is for children.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
And I'm a grown woman.
A clown? How come I never seen that before?
So therefore, that's how it ended. That's the note that it ended on. So people say immature. You should have communicated with him. I did communicate, and I gave him ample amount of time.
I think it ties into the initial vessel of just the setting the boundaries and being intentional. It's important that we operate in intention. And we think about our plans and our vision for our lives, and we're always operating in a space of, is this person good for me? What's the vibration when I'm around them? Am I happier? Am I more clear? Because I'm happy, but like the meme on Facebook and Instagram, I need the I'm happy, but I need the happier. Please. Me. And so, men, I feel like because you're the leaders and the providers and the protectors, I'm going to call you to the carpet and just encourage you to be intentional and take the lead on finding that woman that adds to purpose and definition in your life. And I mean, the goal should be to eventually find your person, your wife, your soulmate,
your partner. Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm gonna leave you with a word. Okay.
Let us pray.
So Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4 in the NIV. That's the New International Version for you, younger people. It says, a wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. Who are you attracting? Who are you juggling? Is it a breath of fresh air? Does she give you vision? Does she make you feel inspired, happy? Or is she like decay in your bones? Is she making your side hurt? When you get off the phone with her, is your heart beating fast, but not in a good way? When you around her, are you ready to go? Just be intentional. Choose people and get connected to things that are motivating you and nudging you into greatness. Okay. And with that being said,
that is awesome.
It's time to move into the small business shout out. So this week, I don't have any of this in my cup, but we have a what is it? Hold on. Bossy Booze _. So Bossy BOSSY Booze BOOZE _ They are a luxury bartending service, mobile bartender, all-inclusive packages. Go check her out on Facebook. She has your drink specialties for your ladies' night, game nights. They travel, they do little events and things like that. So go check her out on Instagram. Again, that is Bossy Booze _
Bossy. All righty, and my small business shout out this week goes to Opulent Realty, and that is run by Miss Mark Lockett, and that is based out of here in Newport News, Virginia. It is an excellent real estate company, so if you or someone you know is interested in purchasing real estate, definitely hit up Opulent Realty Company, and that's OPULENT. Opulent Realty. And if you're feeling like you need to do a little word search to get a little depth, opulent is a very powerful word, and that is why she has named her realty company Opulent Realty. So check her out if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate.
Well, it's another Tuesday. We're bringing to a close. Put in the comments, give us some feedback about what you thought. Like, share, and if you care, all of the good things. Like, follow, share if you care. We're on Apple Music, Spotify, all of the good things. Check us out. Tag a friend, send it to a friend, all of that jazz. We'll see you next week.